Witch is an independent horror film from A24 about this family who lives in the 1600s in New England, and they encounter some horrific, horrifying, supernatural elements, and that's all I'm going to tell you about this movie. I've been so excited for this movie because first of all, A24 might just be the best company we have working today in film. They have released so many great films within the last few years, and I've been hearing about this film for quite some time. I remember when the trailer came out this past summer, and I was like, this looks terrifying. This is the kind of horror movie I want to see, because I've said this before numerous times on my channel, I am not a horror movie fan whatsoever. There are occasional horror films that I like, but when you talk about the current horror films, as in the films that have been released over the last 10 years, most of them are pretty shitty because they're all filled with jump scares and stuff. They're all filled with the generic stories, the stupid jump scares, the lazy writing, the lazy directing. It's kind of BS now with the horror genre. And from time to time, whenever I hear a horror movie is at least decent, or if I'm really interested in seeing one, I will go out of my way to see it and then review it for you guys. This one, I've heard nothing but great things. It won the Best Director Award at Sundance last year. So, I mean, that's kind of saying something. When I walked out of the theater, I had no idea how I felt. I needed at least a day to think about how I felt. I saw this movie on Friday. Today is Sunday. Over time, I realized that this was a really well-made horror film, and it's not your typical horror film. It's more of like a psychological film in a way. Like, it's not a horror movie. It's more of a drama when you think about it. Yes, it has some horror elements into it. There's no jump scares. The movie's very quiet for the most part. When something scary happens, it gets horrifically horrifying, and it's just, this movie left me on the edge of my seat. I had no clue what was going to happen. Talk about a film that was so unpredictable. This is what I want to see from horror movies. Most horror movies are predictable. You see everything coming from the first scene all the way to the end. But in this one, you have no clue what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to live. You don't know who's going to die. You don't know who's the witch. You don't know what the witch looks like until later on in the film. And there are many moments in this film that really pissed me off because I'm like, why did this have to happen? Like, it wasn't bad or anything, but it's just like, why did this have to happen to this innocent person? This film is a complete mindfuck, and it hurt my head. Generally, I like films like that, and this one was a pretty good one. The cinematography is beautiful. This is a gorgeous looking film. The film only cost $3.5 million to make. It looked like it was shot with natural light, like The Revenant. The direction by Robert Eggers was great. I can't wait to see what else he does in the industry of film. I feel like they're going to give him a big blockbuster film to direct after this, but who knows? Maybe he'll do a good job with that particular film. I love the performances in this movie. Everyone did a great job. Both the parents, all the kids, particularly Anya Taylor-Joy, I think that's her name. Thank you for liking my tweet. You are awesome. I can't wait to see what else you do in the future because you did a killer job in this film and you're going to be a star. I can't wait to see what else you do. The costumes, sets were all great. I just liked a lot of stuff about this movie. Now, my only flaws with the movie, I still don't know how I feel about the ending. And particularly the last 10 minutes of the film, I could tell you right now that I was like, part of me was angry, but part of me was happy with the way it was executed. Like, I don't know how I feel. I'm very mixed about it, but I know a lot of people out there really like the ending. For me, I don't know how I feel. It just wraps up in a way that's just like, I don't know. Like, is it anticlimactic? Is it not? What is it? Like, I don't know. And also, the family drama was perfect in this film. It was beautifully handled. Love that aspect. So overall, The Witch was a really interesting horror film, psychologically effed up. Go see it. Support a film like this. It's not for everybody. True horror fans, like mainstream horror fans, you're not going to like this movie because you're going to expect jump scares and cliches. You don't get that in this movie. Alright? You don't. You get something different, and that's probably why people didn't like films like The Babadook, It Follows, and this. The audience rating for this film is really low, which really pisses me off, because then people are going to give, like, The Forest, or like a 96% audience rating, and this a 52. Like, give me a break. I didn't see The Forest, and I heard it wasn't that bad, but still, like, you guys know what I mean. So The Witch gets an A-. Guys, tell me down below what you thought of this movie. If you saw it, what's your favorite A24 film? I want to know that, actually. I'm very curious. I can't think of mine. I think mine might be The Spectacular Now or Enemy. I don't know. I have to think about that. Thank you so much for watching this review, and I'll see you guys soon.